Front row, Joey Kaufman, go ahead.
Julian, on those deep balls to Jeremiah and Carnell, what went into those? Were you able to have a day where you complete 3 balls over 40-plus yards?
Yeah, a lot of practice going into the week. We practice those a lot, and I think Coach Hartline and Coach Fessler and Coach Day, we do a great job of, preaching that in practice, and then they make great adjustments, and we're able to bring them in and ran great routes to get behind them, and we had a great scheme because, we were able to get a flat-footed safety and have Carnell and Jeremiah, run right by him.
Rob Aller?
Yeah, Julian, how much is the recent history of Ohio State and quarterbacks influence your decision to come here in terms of development, in terms of knowing whether it's a Fields or a Stroud? Did that play in at all?
Definitely. When you see guys like Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud throwing to guys like Garrett Wilson and Olave, when I was growing up watching it, it definitely influenced me because of, the quarterback development that's here with Coach Day, and then the receivers that we have here are able to just make plays whenever the ball's in the air.
Go over here to Steven and then to Ari.
Julian, can you, for starters, walk us through that 9-yard scramble you had, just like what you saw and what you were feeling in that moment? And then on top of that, how long did it take you to maybe get comfortable with the chaos that can sometimes be back there when you're operating the pocket?
Yeah, first thing, I got to keep 2 hands on the ball. I had one hand on the ball there. It was dangerous. But, they were playing a coverage where they were doubling Jeremiah and doubling Carnell. And we didn't have, a ton of man winners on that play. So, I had to go make something happen and, keep my eyes up, see if we could pop open. But, ended up taking off. And then just in the back of my mind, thinking about the sticks and thinking about where we need to get to. And, if I have to go, not slide and go pick it up with my legs and go run through some contact for the first down, that's what we have to do to get the first down.
Go to Art. Oh.
Yeah, I think, as a quarterback, you always have to be, be willing to make plays with your legs if the play's not there, and extend drives because if we don't extend that drive, we get off the field there, and nobody's happy with 3 and out.
Go to Ari and then to Stefan.
Hey, Julian, I'm sure you were pretty busy this morning, but did you see what Nick Saban said about you this morning?
I did not. No, we had the early kick, so
he called himself a dumbass for playing you on scout, and not that he would have had an option given the timeline. But what's it like to have national media, national people like Nick Saban, who's the greatest coach of all time, and now in the position with College Game Day, like recognizing the way you've been playing?
That's awesome. I appreciate the kind words, and but this is a team game, and the offensive line did a great job today. Receivers did a great job today, and none of it happens without us as an offense, as a collective.
Stefan?
Follow up a bit on what Coach Day was talking about, just with Carnell and JJ. He said they're the 2 best receivers in the country, I guess. Do you agree with that? And what is it, or what did it do for you this offseason, getting ready to start and having those guys available, whether it be practice, whether it just be throw-in sessions, whatever it was, to kind of grow with them and develop with them?
100%. Those guys are the 2 best in the country, and they show it every Saturday. I see it in practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when they go make plays against the best defense in the country. So I think it shows up within our week, and then it shows up on Saturdays. And those guys do such a great job of putting in the hard work in the off season and being leaders within the team, and being leaders in the weight room. So I think it just all their hard work is showing up on Saturdays when they're able to make those great plays.
Go over here to the left to Bill and then to Jeff Gilbert.
Your completion percentage is over 80%, which is kind of an astounding number. Do you even look at your stats, and what do you think is responsible for that, other than, of course, great receivers and all the rest? But does that surprise you that you're at that level? Yeah,
it's really a team stat because of the way the offensive line has to block and the way that receivers have to catch the ball, and can't have. Like a tip today, we had a tip, and Jeremiah, ends up catching that. So it's stuff like that where the receivers do a great job and the running backs do a great job in pass protection. And it's really just the offensive line giving me time to be able to go through my reads. So it's really a team stat.
What was different about the attitude coming out of halftime for you guys? Fast start.
Yeah, we were kind of disappointed with how the last drive went. We ended up turning the ball over. So coming out of halftime, we knew what we were doing, and we knew we could move the ball. So we were excited. We took a shot, I think, on the second play and hit it, and just keep the momentum going.
Go over here to Spencer.
Julian, you've been pretty calm and collected. Basically, every time you guys score, just kind of celebrate with your teammates, things like that. You saw you were a little bit more animated after the touchdown pass to Bennett. What went into that, and what does it mean to get a guy like Bennett, or last time you guys played with Brandon, a touchdown when you can always get it to 17-4, but those guys also work pretty hard?
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Bennett, he's someone who does a lot of the dirty work for our offense and was able to, if we're running power and he kicks out a defensive end, to see him get in the end zone, it's a great job. And we practiced that play, and it rarely goes to him. And I think I hit it once in practice and was pretty fired up when we hit it. And my first touchdown pass ever in my career when I was a freshman was to Bennett. So it's awesome to see plays like that happen, and it just had me fired up.
All right, we'll do two more. We'll go to Doug, and then over here to the right to Tim. Doug, go ahead.
Julian, just to double check from a football standpoint, could you just throw the ball 50 yards down the field on every play if you wanted to?
Definitely not. Definitely not. We definitely have to be strategic, and I think our coaches did a great job of, when we're calling the shots, we got some good looks into it today, and if it's not there, we got to check the ball down, and when we check it down, our receivers did a great job of catching and knifing.
But do you kind of know that when the opportunity's there, like it's in the holster, it's ready when the opportunity presents itself with those deep shots?
Yes, definitely. We want to be aggressive. We don't want to be reckless, but we want to be aggressive. And if we get one-on-one with our receivers, we think we have a good chance of them making a play.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Tim May.
Yeah, does it hurt you deep down in your gut when you have to throw a ball away, which you haven't done very much? You understand what I'm saying? That was one of those shots, But and then number two, what's it like to have two guys like that capable of taking the top off a defense? It seems like at almost any moment.
Yeah, throwing the ball away. Still trying to improve, and I keep understanding staying on schedule, because that was a key point for us in this game, is stay on track and keep moving the sticks. And then number two, sorry, what'd you say? Taking the top off the defense. Yeah, Carnell and Jeremiah. I mean, they're able to get behind the defense and made some great catches. Carnell had the one touchdown, and then had the one coming out of halftime. So and then Jeremiah obviously with the deep one too. It's awesome to see because of how much practice we do throughout the week to practice those plays.
All right, Julian, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.